What's doing, everybody? No Trump is trending tonight. I wanted to update the tragedy that happened in Minnesota yesterday. But first, I have to address the attacks that have been coming against me online over a post that I made on X, where these lunatics on the left know exactly what I was saying, but tried to take it and claim that I was calling for political violence. And it's very tiring, but it's the same bot accounts. I'm getting all kinds of messages, death threats. It's gotten so far out of hand. Now, just for those of you who've watched my previous video, follow me on X. My theory, my working theory on this is that Vance Boelter, okay, a Tim Walz appointee whose wife interned for Tim Walz, was upset that this woman, this state representative, Melissa Hartman, voted against giving Medicaid to illegal aliens, okay? And my theory is this guy killed her because of that, as sending a message to other Democrats that if you don't vote the right way, if you step out of line, this is what's going to happen to you. So now my theory hasn't been proven. There's other theories that are out there that have not been proven yet either, okay? There's a manifesto that they will not release. There's a lot of questions about this entire thing. I'm going to get more into the update on this story in just a second. So this was the post that I put. Remember, my theory is that this guy is a left-wing lunatic who wanted the illegal aliens to get their money, their Medicaid, their health care, and snapped because she didn't vote that way. She was the deciding vote, the only one to vote against the party. So my theory is you vote against the party, this is the message that's going to happen. That's my theory. Like it or not, that's how I'm looking at it. So I put this post up to coincide with that yesterday. I put the video that you guys saw on my channel, and I put Melissa Hartman sounded fearful after voting to repeal health care for illegal aliens. Almost as if she knew that her base would become unhinged. She and her husband were tragically shot and killed, a targeted attack per Governor Walz. What was her motive? So I quote tweet that post, and I put, make no mistake, what happened to Melissa Hartman was a message to all Democrats. You vote against us, and your life is at stake. Right in line with what my theory is. Exactly what I have been saying. So people have been screenshotting that and claiming that I'm calling for political violence because of the post that I made, which is the most ridiculous thing that you can imagine. Now, again, they know this, but I have a lot of these trolls online that are always trying to come at me, and this is their latest way to do this. Oh my God. They're tagging the FBI. They're like, oh, we're sending this to the FBI. You're going to get a knock at the door. The FBI's not, can read, okay? And obviously what I'm saying here is that the guy wiped her out and sent a message to the other Democrats, don't vote the way she did or you're going to be next. I mean, that's as clear as day what I'm saying. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people had to delete their posts because what they were doing is on X, you can at Grok, which is the AI, you can add it and ask it, is Alec calling for violence? So about 5-6 people were asking Grok if Alex is calling for violence. And they had to delete their posts because Grok isn't as stupid as they are. So I asked it, and of course, this is what it says. No, Alec Lace is not calling for violence in the post. He is expressing an opinion that the murder of Melissa Hartman and her husband was a targeted attack intended to send a message to Democrats who vote against certain policies, which is exactly what I did post. So you have all these people that had to delete their posts on it, but they've taken these snapshots. They're posting it on other apps, Facebook, Instagram. Oh, my God, look at Alec. I'm getting emails. They're threatening my family. It's gotten way out of hand. So if you're watching this video and you're one of these bozos, just know that you're an idiot. And also, too, it's funny seeing it from they're claiming that they're the party of peace and joy. Meanwhile, all they're doing is threatening me with violence over something that they know is categorically false, what they're doing. They know 1,000% that what they're doing is a straw man thing. They're saying, oh, my God, look at what this is. It's calling for violence. It couldn't be the furthest from the truth. And I said in my original video that I had put up that all political violence should be condemned, which it should be. All right, so I just wanted to touch on that piece because it's getting way out of hand. All right, now, back into this. What actually happened here? Who is this Vance Boelter guy? I'll tell you this much. Looking at the picture that they put up of this guy versus the one they showed at the ring cam from the door of this attack, this does not look like it's the same guy. The guy in the picture with the cowboy hat, He looks like he's about 220 pounds, all right, or more, 220 plus. The guy in the picture at the ring cam looks to be about 160 to 180. Now, I asked the chatbot, two different AIs, to examine these pictures, and both of them came up saying that they do not look like the same size, same mass. And they said 220, 180. All right, so there's definitely a discrepancy there. So if that's not the guy, then who is the guy? Did he have help? Also, they're saying this guy, he gets in his car, he's got the No Kings flyers. So we dub him the No Kings assassin, right? That's really the name that he has. But they're saying, he was a white nationalist. He's a white nationalist, but he had a job in the Black Congo in the Middle East. He worked for a security guard institution. He worked for Tim Waltz. They say he worked at 7-Eleven. He worked at a morgue. He owned a home, but he somehow had a roommate 50 miles away with a Papa John's delivery guy who looks like a homeless dude. I mean, no offense here. This guy's not in great shape here. This guy looks like he's in some trouble. They say, he voted for Trump. He registered as a Republican, they're saying. Meanwhile, in Minnesota, you can't register to vote for either party. But they're ready to risk their life to say, this guy was a registered Republican. Where? That you can't register for a party in Minnesota. They said he was a Trump. He voted for Trump. Another thing that's unsubstantiated. You cannot prove that. There's no records of who you voted for. All right, they're going by Papa John, is what they're saying to you here. He leaves a manifesto behind that the law enforcement is saying it was meaningless. So it was so meaningless that they can't release it. They're saying all these names were on it, but they won't release it. Why won't they release the manifesto? A good question. All right, so the cops spotted this guy, and they get in a shootout with this guy. Dude's 57 years old and looks like this. He gets in a shootout with the cops, and he overpowers them and gets away. So he goes back to his house and apparently calls his roommate and says, "Hey, man, I did something bad here. I got to skip town, whatever it is." So he gets into the car and vanishes like a fart in the wind. His wife gets pulled over, the wife that interned for Tim Waltz back in the day. She gets pulled over. She's got, apparently, according to, I think it was Channel 4 News, don't quote me on that, one of the news stations broadcasted this. I have to put it down in the description. She gets pulled over. They said she's got cash, a weapon, passports, but she's released. Then they find a cowboy hat and some mysterious belongings on the side of the road. So none of this is really adding up into anything. Again, you have work. One of the other working theories that they have is this guy was a pro-lifer, a pro-life guy that went unhinged. I don't think that that's the scenario here either. We don't know the motive because we don't see the manifesto. The manifesto might help us a little bit, but according to the police, it's meaningless. That's why they won't release it. If it was meaningless, you'd release it. If it was held the key, you'd hold on to it. So you can't say it's meaningless and then not release it, which raises a lot of eyebrows. And again, he had the No Kings flyer, according to the police, and reported by NBC News and other outlets, CNN, I believe, too. He had these No Kings flyers, which was yesterday, which we know turned deadly. The No Kings protests turned deadly. In Utah, you had one person shot and killed by one of these Antifa nuts. So we know that the left is the party of violence. There's no question about that. And it proves my point because they keep sending me death threats. And they're the party of violence. So it's very easy to see this. And so now, again, what is the actual story here? I don't know. But I think all theories are still on the table. Was it possible this guy didn't do the shooting? Because the guy at this door does not look like he fits the physical description of the guy that they're telling us that it is. So I don't know. And was this guy getting USAID money? Because he had some kind of shell companies going on. He had some kind of Red Den security or Red Lion security or something like that. That seemed like some kind of BS operation that he had going on. He had a couple other things that seemed kind of shifty and shady. So was he getting USAID money that was just cut off, or how was he getting? Where was he getting the funds to go to the Congo? He's got like a looks like a mansion, $1 million home. He worked at 7-Eleven. So there's a lot of holes in this entire story. He's got a mansion to live in, but he's staying with a Papa John's roommate that looks like he's door dashing on the weekend. I don't know. Something is wrong with this entire story. Anyway, more as this is going to come, again, it's tragic that it's got to be this Melissa Hartman, and also you had the State Senator Hoffman, who was shot. Him and his wife, they have survived. So I think I'm sure that they've, or whatever they can get information out of them, they've gotten it. But it's like, one way or the other, this is what's happening because of the temperature in this country of the politics. It is out of control, and we see it, and the Democrats don't condone it. I mean, they don't condemn it, they condone it. They're keeping up the pressure. Keep resisting. You have federal judges that are blocking President Donald Trump from doing his job of deporting illegal immigrants. And the media has riled up the base, just like they riled up the base for the George Floyd. They've riled them up in defense of the illegal immigrants. They've got them all cracked in the head over this stuff. No, illegal immigrants should have free health care by the taxpayer funded. How in the world does that make any sense? So this woman, Melissa Hartman, voted against that. We're not going to charge the taxpayers money for illegal immigrants, which is the right thing to do. And then soon after that, she and her husband are killed. Coincidence? I don't think so. So I'm still going with that theory that this had something to do with that. Now, I could be wrong, but there's no evidence to support any other theory right now. We don't have the manifesto. We haven't seen it. Now, the police say there's other names on it, Democrat names on it. Let's see the manifesto. We've seen the No Kings flyers that are in the car. We know that the guy was hired by Tim Walz. We know that the guy was hired by another Democrat governor prior to Tim Walz. We know that the guy's wife interned for Tim Walz. So there's the connection there. They say he's a registered Republican. You can't register for a party in Minnesota. So they're trying to make it sound like, oh, he's a MAGA. He's a MAGA guy. Oh, and he's Christian, which means, I guess, apparently they're saying, oh, he was Christian, so he's MAGA. So there's no Christian Democrats anymore? I ask you this, what religion is Tim Walz? He's a Christian. Okay, so they make it sound like, oh, if you're Christian, you're definitely MAGA. It seems that way. It does. I'll give you that. It does seem like if you believe in God, you're a Republican. There's no doubt about that. But it's not true. There are a lot of Democrats, and again, not left-wing lunatics. There are a lot of Democrats that are Christians. So to say because the guy is Christian means he's a MAGA doesn't make any sense. Doesn't hold any water. All right, so that's what information do you have? What's your theory? Again, I wanted to address this at the top because these lunatics online keep hammering me on this tweet, which is getting ridiculous because I did not threaten any political violence. You guys that follow the show here know that I always speak out against that, would never call for it. My theory, my working theory is that and just like I was saying before here, the media has got people nuts over protecting illegal immigrants. You got federal judges blocking the President of the United States from deporting illegal immigrants. This lady votes against illegal immigrants getting health care and then ends up dead. So that's they make it sound like, oh, but that's impossible. The political violence is coming from the left. And that was what I called out. This was a threat. This was a message sent by these left-wing lunatics, these radicals that are crazy with the illegal immigration, that if you step out of line, this is what's going to happen to you. That's the thought process there. So give me yours down in the chat. I appreciate your support. Again, apologize for no Trump is trending. I wanted to address this, get it out of the way before I go on to the show during the week, and I'll be back with Trump is trending tomorrow night. I know a lot of you guys are looking forward to that. It's been Father's Day weekend here as well, so I've been tied up doing stuff with that all weekend, so I didn't get it to you, but I promise tomorrow you'll get a Trump is trending, and you'll have the Alec Lay show back during the week. So make sure you lock it in. Keep following, keep supporting. I appreciate your help out there, all your love, all your prayers. I'll be back here real soon. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. The future is family.
You're listening to the Alec Lay Show. The future is